Yes, people, very, very happy about all of you. No energy. Happy, loud. Very good, much better. So, guys, today's session is a very important session. More fully for those people who are going to appear for the Jan'26 examination. So, guys, in this video, I'm going to discuss about the amendment that has come with regard to applicability of the accounting standard. So, mark this very, very important, people. Confirm question from this segment for Jan'26 examination. And of course, other people are joining us May 26 and September 26. So by now, I hope you have done my original video. Original video is completed. Right, fantastic. So let's have a quick look at the applicability of the accounting standard. Now, this new change that has been come, people, it's come only for non-corporates. So you know that accounting standard is applicable on both corporates and non-corporates. In corporates, we have how many classification? We have two classification. One is SMC, second is non-SMC. SMC stands for small and medium companies. Small and medium companies. S for small, M for medium. Small, medium companies. And non-SMCs are large companies, big companies in our example. Now, like how you had two classification or bifurcation for companies, like that, even for non-companies, they've got two classification. Earlier, we had four classification. We had large one, that is level one entities, large entities. Then we had level two, level three, level four. We had four classification. Now, the level two, the level three, and level four is combined together and being made as one single level called as MSME. All of them put together has become one level called as MSME. So compared to earlier, this is become more easy for you, more convenient for you. Because in the older scenario, you had level 2, level 3, level 4. All the three levels had different thresholds for turnover, different thresholds for borrowings. Now all of that is got removed and they've got one single threshold for MSME. So which has made your life far more easier compared to the earlier version. So now we're talking about non-companies. The application of accounting standard issued by ICI is commencing on or after 1 April 24. Means this new applicability will be looked after 1 April 2024 and onwards. Prior to this, we had a classification by name level 2, level 3, level 4. Now they're removed and now they are referred as MSMEs. Level 2 is medium, level 3 is small, and level 4 is micro. All of them put together is called as MSME. Now, this point is being captured where, in the September 25 RTP. In September 25 RTP, the RTP which got released for September 25 examination, in that they've announced the amendment for the applicability of the accounting standard, for the changes in the applicability of the accounting standard. So whatever document they've published, a precise bullet points I've picked from this and I've prepared notes for all of you. So in the document, they've explained what is the meaning of MSME. They've given 5 conditions for MSME. How many conditions? 5 conditions for MSME. If all the 5 conditions satisfy, if all these 5 conditions satisfy, then we will call such entity as MSME. Out of these 5, if any one also fails, then you cannot be called as MSME, you'll be called as large entities. Now, level 1 is referred to as large entities. Level 1 is large entities, which means from now onwards, we will not talk in terms of level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. There are only 2 levels. There are only 2 levels in the non-corporate, which is large and MSME. Large and MSME. So we have 2 classifications for corporates. Like that for non-corporates also we have only 2 classifications. One is large, second is MSME. For you to qualify as MSME, how many conditions you have to satisfy? 5 conditions. All the 5 together you have to satisfy? Yes. Out of these 5, if any one is not satisfied, then you will become automatically large entities. Now, what is the first criteria? The first criteria is from the listing status point of view. Any entity, which entity? Non-corporate entity. Any non-corporate entity whose securities are not listed or not in the process of listing in any stock exchange, whether in India or outside India, will be qualified as MSME. Now the question that comes is that how can non-corporates be listed? I give an example of IRFC. There are certain corporations, even though they are not corporates, they have the freedom to list their corporations का stock on the stock exchange, either in India or outside India. The classic example for this is IRFC. IRFC. If you go to any what do you call it, stock broking applications, or you go to Google and also type what is IRFC ka stock price, you'll get the stock price which is listed in the stock exchange. And it's not a corporate. It's not a corporate. It's non-corporate. Got it? Not got it. Now, so if any non-corporate entities who are whose securities are not listed or should not be in the process of listing, you should not be listed or you should not be in the process of listing, then you can be qualified as MSME provided the remaining four conditions satisfied. So by chance, I am already listed or I'm in the process of getting listed, then can I call myself as MSME? No, I automatically become large entity, large entity. So first condition is if I want to avail MSME ka benefit, then I should not be a listed entity and I should not be in process of listing either in India or outside India. Okay, not okay. Then comes end. End means what? Plus. Apart from the first condition, second condition also has to be satisfied. What is the second condition? It is based on the nature of the entity. Nature of the entity. Not activity, nature of entity. Entity. If you want to become MSME, if you want to qualify for MSME, you should not be a bank. You should not be a cooperative bank. Or you should not be a financial institutions. Or you should not be a insurance business. If you are a bank, if you are a cooperative bank, if you are a financial institution, or if you are an insurance business, you can never be qualified as MSME. You can never be qualified as MSME. By default, these entities are large, irrespective of their turnover limit, irrespective of their borrowing limit, irrespective of their being listed or not being listed. If you are a banking company, if you are a financial institution, if you are an insurance business, all the three non-corporates, by default, by birth, you are a large entity. By birth, you are a large entity. Okay or not okay? And means what? One more condition. Now, this is turnover criteria. This is turnover criteria. This is turnover criteria. Now, here, look at the language what they've used. MSME means non-company entity. For you to become MSME, who are you supposed to be? What should be a turnover? Whose turnover, excluding other income, does not exceed 250 crore rupees in the immediately preceding accounting year. What do you understand? What do you understand with this? Kind of complicated, no? Come back to this. If your turnover is anywhere between 1 rupee to 250 crores, including 250 crores, up to 250 crores, you can be qualified as MSME. But if I have my turnover 250 crore and 1 rupee, with this, if I add 1 more rupee, then I will automatically become large entity. So if my turnover is up to 250 crore, I can be qualified as MSME. With 250 crores, if we add 1 more rupee extra, if you exceed 250 crore, by default, you become large entity. Whose turnover should not exceed 250 crore. If you exceed, you are large. If you don't exceed, you are MSME. Okay, not okay. And this should be checked when? Not in the current year. You will be checking this in the previous year. On the last day of the preceding accounting year. When should you take the turnover into consideration? This is previous year. This is current year. Previous year ka year ending. On 31st March, you're supposed to check what is the turnover. You have to check the turnover. And while checking the turnover, what are you supposed to exclude? Other income should be excluded. So basically, we're looking into revenue from operation. We're looking into revenue from operation for considering this limit. Other income should not be considered. Other income should not be considered. Got it, not got it? All in people, got it, not got it?
Yes, sir.
Got
Loudly,
it,
loudly,
sir.
Yes,
everybody.
sir. Got it, sir.
Now, plus one more condition. So this is borrowing criteria. Borrowing criteria. If your borrowing is anywhere between 1 rupee up to 50 crores, 1 rupee up to 50 crores at any time. For turnover, we saw the turnover on a particular date, which is the last day of the previous accounting year. Previous accounting year. It's not financial year. It is accounting year. The language that they've used is accounting year. Here, they're talking about borrowing at any time during the immediately preceding accounting. Means I will not see the borrowing limit of the previous year at the end. At the end, what borrowing is, I will not see. I will see during the year, anywhere has it crossed 50 crores or not. Maybe I took a loan of 50 crore year. After 1 month, I again took a loan of 1 crore. How much it became? 51 crore. I repaid 40 crore out of it. How much is balance now? 11 crore. 11 crore is balance. At the end of the year, balance is 11 crore. I am MSME. True or false? Why? Because somewhere in middle of the year, it became more than 50 crore. At any point of time during the previous year, not current year, you will never check the current year ka borrowing. We'll always check the previous year borrowing. Previous year, even for 1 day, even for 1 minute, if your borrowing is exceeded 50 crore, then by default you are large entities. Okay, not okay. Online people.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Last condition. If you want to be MSME, you should not be a holding or a subsidiary of the large entity. Large entity. For example, Kalpavriksh Academy. Imagine it is a large entity. FFLA. So far, medium enterprise. Why? Because what is the first condition to qualify as MSME? I am not listed,
Good.
neither I'm in process of listing. FFL is neither listed nor I have the intention to list. So first condition satisfied. What is second condition for FFLA to become MSME?
And financial institution.
FFLA is neither a bank, nor cooperative bank, nor financial institution, nor insurance company. So second condition also I've satisfied. Third, my turnover is less than 250 crores. Hence I'm MSME. My borrowing is up to 50 crore or less than 50 crores. All the four satisfied MSME. But I am the holding or the subsidiary of the large entity. So FFL is either holding or subsidiary of KBA. Now the question is, what is the meaning of holding and subsidiary? 2 points. 2 points for holding and subsidiary, which has been laid down in your consolidation. And after that, 1 point is already discussed in your AS 18. In AS 18, there are 3 conditions for control. What are 3 conditions for control in AS 18? More than 50% voting right. Power to compose, very good. And substantial interest and power to direct. If all these 3 conditions satisfied, what do you call it? You have control under AS 18. Here we are not talking about AS 18. We are talking about holding and subsidiary. For holding and subsidiary, control ka meaning is same. First two, which is what? Voting power more than 50%. Power to compose. So here between KV FFLA, if there is any holding subsidiary relationship, KV has invested 60% money in FFLA. 60% of the capital of FFLA is coming from where? KVA. So KVA is a holding company of FFLA. Or KVA has not invested any money, but KVA is composing the governing body of FFLA. Who should be running the company? Who should run FFLA? Who should not run FFLA? I am the person, KVA. I am the person who's controlling FFLA decision-making authority. In that case, I have control over them. So if FFLA is either the holding or the subsidiary of the large entity, if KVA is large, though FFLA is satisfying the first 4 conditions, it is violating the 5th condition. If I am holding or subsidiary of large entity, I am large. For me to be MSME, I should not be the holding or the subsidiary company of the large entity. So if FFLA has got no connection with KVA, in terms of control, in that case, FFLA will continue to enjoy the MSME ka benefit. Okay, not okay? Online people, okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Example of large entities. Okay, before that. Okay, example of MSMEs. All the sole proprietorship concerns, partnership concern, LLP, trust, society, all these people are MSMEs. Got it, not got it? Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam Trust. Sir, here also trust is there. Here also trust is there. Are Baba, non-corporates, na? If they are breaching the limit, they'll come in large entity. They're well within the limit, they'll come in the MSME. NABARD, IRFC, ESI, ICAI, ICSI, Big Four audit firms, all these people who violate any of those 5 conditions will be coming under large entities. So for you to be large entities, what is the requirement? I put the ulta scenario. If I have to be a large entity, who should I be? Those entities whose securities are already listed or in the process of listing in any stock exchange, either in India or outside India. I'll be called as large entity. Or So here we have OR condition. Means out of this 5, anyone satisfied? Large. But for me to become MSME, all the 5 needs to be satisfied. For MSME, all the 5 has to be satisfied. If any one violated, large. Next, if I'm a bank, including cooperative bank, financial institutions, and insurance business, by birth, I'm a large entity. By birth, I'm a large entity. Or if my turnover is more than 250 crores, it's exceeding 250 crores, I'm a large entity. Or my borrowing is more than 50 crores, exceeds 50 crores, I'm a large entity. Any MSME means earlier MSME, which is now the holding or the subsidiary of large entity. So FFLA, until today, they were satisfying all the 5 conditions. But now the entire FFLA is being controlled by KVA. So now FFL has become the subsidiary of large entity. So by default, FFL is also large entity. So any MSME which is holding or the subsidiary of the large entity becomes the large entity now. Okay, not okay. Online people, okay, not okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Now, what is the benefit of being classified as large entity and MSME? Why is this classification? Simple. To obtain exemptions from accounting standards. We have in total how many accounting standards? 29 accounting standards, of which how much is deleted? 2 are deleted. Which 2 are deleted? 6 and 8 are deleted. So you're left with 27 accounting standards. And for you, in your syllabus, you have all 27 accounting standards. How do you feel studying all the 27 accounting standards together? Devastated? What did you say? Nothing. How do you feel? It's quite loaded. It's not tough. It's not tough. It's quite loaded. Imagine a small entity, medium entity, micro entity, who is struggling to even meet ends, who are struggling in their day-to-day businesses to get customer, to meet the daily problems that they face. On top of that, you put a big problem on them that you have to follow all 27 accounting standards. Where will they go? Small business people whose turnover is how much? Let's say 50 lakh, 60 lakh rupees. They have to appoint big CAs to take care of all this. So for those people, they said that you don't take so much of stress. We'll give you some relaxations and exemptions. So if you are qualifying MSME criteria, you are fully exempted. You are fully exempted from 4 accounting standard. 4 accounting standard fully exempt. AS3, which is cash flow statement. AS17, segment reporting. AS20, earning per share. AS24, AS24. This was your condition. This was your condition when I started AS. When I started this topic as the first topic, you struggled even to remember what is AS3, AS17, AS20. Now that we have completed these 3, answer is coming. AS24, we have not done it. So you don't know what is AS24. It is discontinued operation. Whenever you learn anything for the first time, no, or until you learn, you will find that it's very difficult to understand or remember or whether I'll be able to do CA or not. But now when you're studying AS3, 17 to 20, when you look back and see, do you find that difficult it is? That you can't even do CA in your life? Tell me, do you find it that difficult? No, it's a matter of learning. It's a matter of being patient enough to learn well, understand well, repeated revisions, repeated tests. From this level to this level, you'll become. So these four accounting standards are fully exempt people. 3, 17, 20, and 24. Any problem? Now, how do we remember, sir? Very simple. 3 plus 17 is how much? 20. 3 plus 17 is 20. 24, how do you remember? My birthday, 23. We then add one more day. 24. Oh my God. What a pathetic way of remembering. I made them by my birthday. Very good. You remember how many times I made you revision of my birth date? How many times we recollected my birth date? 23 plus 1, how much? 24. Oh my God. 23 July, what is it? Oh my God. That's a famous date. Huh? Now, my simple question to all of you. MSME is exempt from which accounting standard? Full exemption from which all accounting standard? 3, 17, 20, 24. Cash flow statement, segment reporting, earning per share, discontinued operation. Okay, not okay. Now, then we have certain disclosure-based exemption. 10, 11, 15, 19. 22, 26, 28, 29. Means this AS you have to apply. But in this AS, there will be multiple paragraph. No, certain paragraph they are exempted. What are those paragraphs? Those are disclosure-based paragraph. Those are disclosure-based paragraph. So look into this. They've told for AS10, MSME may not comply with para 87. If you're following AS11, in the do not comply with para 44. There's certain paragraph they have excluded. Now for examination purpose, you need not by heart for which AS which paragraph is excluded. This you have to remember when you're doing the practice in real life. That time you have to remember. Otherwise, as of now, not required from the examination point of view. You just have to remember the accounting standard ka name. 10, 11, 15, 19, 22, 26, 28, 29. Will you manage this? These are called as disclosure-based exemption. Disclosure-based exemption means what? This is we have to comply. You have to comply all the other aspects. Few aspects about disclosure is exempted. And that too, we can't choose. It's not all disclosure exempted. In that, they have told that which paragraph ka disclosure is exempt. That alone is exempted. Rest all you have to follow. Then comes event-based exemption. If event happens, you follow. If event doesn't happen, don't follow. AS 14. If amalgamation happens between FFL and KVA, then follow. Otherwise, not required. 21, 23, 27 talks about consolidation. 21 talks about consolidation of subsidiary, associate and joint venture. If it is happening, then do consolidation. Otherwise, don't. Then comes AS 25. What is AS 25? Interim financial reporting. If it is applicable, prepare, or else not required. So these are called as event-based exemption. If event happens, follow. If event doesn't happen, don't follow. As if you don't know. Now, so far clear, not clear. So far, the life was going very smooth. So far, the life was going very smooth. So many conditions we had, they shrinked into one condition. So far, so good. But here, a new masala is coming. Now, in condition, they put one more additional condition. Now, they have given additional condition for two A's in particular. Means, if you satisfy these two conditions, you need not comply with AS 18 and AS 28. If you follow the below three conditions, you'll be exempted from AS 18 and AS 28 also. Sir, so if I violate those conditions, what to do? Then you have to comply with AS 18 and AS 28. AS 18 stands for related party disclosure and AS 28 for impairment of asset. Three conditions. These three conditions are related to the previous five conditions. In previous five conditions, what is the first condition? It was listing criteria. Second was nature of business criteria. Third was turnover. Fourth was borrowing. Fifth was holding subsidiary. Leave first two. What are the remaining three? Turnover, borrowing, holding subsidiary. Same three conditions, copy paste. Same three conditions, copy paste. Limit is being changed. You know how they change the limit? 250 divided by 5, how much it is? 50. So for this condition, what is my turnover limit? 50 crores. 50 ka divided by 5, how much it is? 10 crore. Which means if you are having turnover from 1 crore to 50 crore, 1 crore to 50 crore, 50 crore is what? 1/5 of 250 crore. AS 1828 is exempted for you. Sir, if I have a turnover of 51 crore or 50 crore, 1 rupee, 50 crore plus 1 rupee, then if your turnover is more than 50 crores, my dear friend, AS 18 and 28 is not exempted for you. So 5 conditions are there. Apart from that, we have 3 more sub conditions only in particular for 18 and 28. Okay or not okay? ICI, CBSE board and life. They don't like anything that is coming easily. They want you to be tough in life. These people want to prepare you for the toughest thing in life, which is good. The more punches you get on your face, the more stronger you become. So now, little bit they're trying to complicate it. Is it that complicated? Not at all. And any enterprise whose borrowing does not exceed 10 crore, if your borrowing is 1 to 10 crores, up to 10 crores, 1828 exempted. Sir, if my borrowing exceeds 10 crore at any time during the year, then 18 and 28 is not exempted. Any problem? 1828. 1828. 18 plus 10, 28. 18 ends with 8. 28 also ends with 8. Aha. And plus who's not the holding and the subsidiary of MSME covered in the above two condition. FFLA. FFLA. Not listed or not in the process of listing. First condition. Second condition, FFLA. Not bank, not financial institution, not insurance company. So far, everything is good. So far, can I say FFLA is MSME? Third, FFLA का turnover 51 crore. 51 crore. Borrowing 11 crore. Borrowing 11 crore. This much I'll keep. Fifth condition on hold. Imagine fifth condition also satisfied. Apana FFL is what? MSME or large entity? It is MSME. Okay. My question is, apart from the other exemptions that you have, I'm talking about 18 and 28. 18 and 28, should they comply with or are they exempted? They are supposed to comply. Why? For AS 18 and 28, I have to check two more additional conditions. Turnover should be less than, up to 50 crores, but it is 51 crore, 51 crore. This condition is violated. Hence, 1828 has to be complied with. And turnover is more than 10 crores. Got it, not got it. Now, FFLA is controlling SPJ Academy. FFLA is controlling SPJ Academy. Now tell me people, for SPJ, it is a non-listed entity. It is neither bank nor financial institutions nor insurance company. Turnover 5 crore. Borrowing 1 crore. But this is subsidiary of FFLA. Subsidiary of FFLA. Now tell me people, first classification, MSME or large entity? MSME or large entity? Online people, SPJ Academy. MSME or large entity? Sir, MSME. Now 18 and 28, qualified, not qualified. Exempted, not exempted. For MSME, you have to, for AS 1828, three conditions you have to check. Turnover should not exceed 50 crore. Turnover should not exceed 50 crore. My turnover is 5 crore. Not exceeded. First condition satisfied. Second condition is what? Borrowing should not exceed 10 crore. I'm within 10 crore. Second condition also satisfied. So far, it looks like I don't have to comply with 18 and 28. But I am a subsidiary of that entity who is complying with 1828. Because of the third condition being failed, I also have to comply with 18 and 28. For me to not comply with 1828, I should not be the holding and subsidiary of that MSME which is covered in above two condition. So here, SPJ Academy is the subsidiary of MSME. Which MSME? FFLA. And FFLA is covered by above two condition. Means what? FFLA has to comply with 18 and 28. So if any entity is complying with 18 and 28, and if you are holding a subsidiary of that entity, then you also have to comply with 18 and 28. Any difficulty? Online people, any difficulty? In short, whatever my holding or subsidiary company is complying, I also have to comply. Whatever my holding or subsidiary is complying, that I have to comply. Okay, not okay? No energy. Okay, fantastic. Turnover mentioned above is always considered excluding other income. This is very important point. Plus one more point. When we take sales here, always takes net sales, net of returns. We'll not take gross sales into consideration. And I'm looking into turnover limit 250 crores. I will only check the net sales. So in the exam, if they give you sales and sales return minus the return, the balance amount is there. No, on that you have to calculate the turnover ka limit. Okay, not okay? Online people, okay, not okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
I have two more points to discuss, but before that, let's do a couple of sums. You tell me the answer. This answer is wrong. Because when I was preparing this answer, no, I took medicine. Because of overdose, no, I wrote all wrong answers. Now I'm very fresh and clear. So this is wrong. You tell me what is the right answer. Entity ka name. KVA Cooperative Bank. Aha. Kalpavriksha Academy. Banking business. Tell me people. Large entity. Why? You didn't say turn. Wait. Look at the turnover, no. Look at the borrowing, no. No, you'll not look into the turnover and borrowing limit. Nothing you look. Oh my God. For bank, you will not look into any criteria. If bank, they say by birth you are large entity, turnover is immaterial, borrowing is immaterial, nothing is important. Let me see the answer at least. No, what I've written is wrong or right. I think it should be wrong, but let's see. KVA Cooperative Bank is a cooperative bank. Wow. Bank are specifically excluded from MSME classification for the purpose of applicability of AS. Therefore, it shall be treated as large entity and is required to comply fully with the accounting standard. Full compliance. Full compliance. For large entities, all 29 accounting standards you have to follow. In addition to compliance with banking regulatory requirement, that is apart from AS, whatever the regulatory act, banking regulation act is applicable, that you have to follow. That goes without saying anyways. Turnover and borrowing limits are not relevant in the large entities. Okay, not okay. I made mistake. I said somewhere I made mistake. No, not in this. This is correct. Next question is wrong. Now I remember. This is wrong. Asterisk events. Asterisk events. Corporate, non-corporate. If it is corporate, private limited, something should come. Nothing is there. So it is non-corporate. Okay. Is asterisk event a banking company? Financial institutions? Insurance? No. Anywhere in the remark have they mentioned that they're already listed or in the process of listing? No. Upon the first two conditions, satisfied. For being MSME, first two condition, satisfied. Third condition is turnover. If you want to be MSME, your turnover should be up to 50 crores. It should not exceed 250 crores. And turnover here is chiller, 12 crores. Third condition also satisfied. If you want to be MSME, what is your fourth condition? Borrowing should not exceed 50 crores. Should not exceed 50 crores. Is less than 50 crores. This also satisfied. Anywhere have they told that asterisk event is a holding or the subsidiary of the large entity? Nothing. So last condition also satisfied. So asterisk event is neither the holding company nor the subsidiary entity for the large entity. All the five conditions satisfied. Hence, asterisk events can enjoy MSME ka exemptions. Asterisk event is a non-company entity whose securities are not listed, who's not banking, finance institution and insurance company, whose borrowing does not exceed 50 crore, turnover does not exceed 250 crore, and it is not the holding subsidiary of the large entity. Hence, asset even qualifies as MSME and is entitled to applicability of accounting standard with exemptions and relaxations as prescribed under the MSMEs. I mean, what it is being prescribed. Can you please tell me what is the exemptions prescribed? Full exemption. 3, 17, 20, 24. Okay. Then we have disclosure-based exemption. Now difficult to remember, but eventually I have to remember, no doubt. 10, 11, 15, 19, 22, 26, 28, 29. Go home. आराम से sit back. ये वही था क्या सब? Oh my God, that way you can remember. So go back and tell me in which way you can remember this. Give me the tips. Next batch I'll use it. Now, can I go to the next one? Sorry? We'll discuss now. Now we have event-based exemption. What is event-based exemptions? 14, amalgamation, big chapter. Then consolidation, even more bigger chapter. That has been governed by 21, 23, 27. 21, 23, 27. Last one, 25. Now, odd numbers. 21, 23, 25, 27. Aha. Next is additional condition for 18 and 28. 18 and 28. Now, let's check. Asterisk event has to comply with 18 and 28 or not. What is the three condition to not comply? If you want exemption from 18 and 28, what are the three conditions? Turnover should not exceed 50 crore, which is less than 12 crore. So first condition satisfied. Borrowing should not exceed 10 crore, which is within 10 crore. That is 2 crore. Second condition satisfied. Is asterisk event any holding of the subsidiary of that entity or that MSME who has to comply with 1828? No. Upon asterisk event has got full exemption from 18 and 28 also. 18 and 28 also. Okay, not okay. Online people, okay, not okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
This answer also correct. Confirm this is wrong. Don't see the answer. Wrong it is. Leave it. Fortunes Fund Learning Academy. FFLA. Turnover 3 crore. Turnover 3 crore. Cross 250 crores. Cross 250 crore. One criteria also not satisfied. By default, you are large entity. Remaining 4, don't even look into it. So it's more than 250 crores. Confirm FFLA is large entity. Borrowing is 20 crores. Borrowing is not exceeding. Let's look into the answer. Borrowing is not exceeding 50 crore at any time during the year. But turnover is more than 250 crores. Hence, FFLA will be classified as large entity and all the A's will be applicable with no exemptions. With no exemptions. Any difficulty? Online people, tell me it's very difficult. If I get question from this topic in Jan examination, I will not be able to write it. So like that you tell me. Tell me, Abhirami, Albin, Bala, Harini, Kaushik, Manikivelu, Nishant, Pavitra, Siddharth, Smriti, Soma, Subhanyu. Tell me, people.
Not difficult.
Not difficult. Oh my God. After next question, you tell me. Kalpavriksha Academy. Kalpavriksha Academy. What happened? Turnover 9 crore. Turnover 9 crore. Borrowing 1 crore. Borrowing 1 crore. Holding entity of FFLA. Oh. Holding entity of FFLA. Now, Kalpavriksha Academy. Please tell me, people. Listed, non-listed. Non-listed, not in the process of listing. I have no intention. Ask me no. Sir, do you have the intention to list? Ask. No. Second, am I a banking entity? Financial institutions, insurance company? No. No bank, no financial institutions, no insurance company. Ask me, what is my turnover? No. Ask me, is my turnover exceeding 250 crore? No, it is less than 250 crore. Very less. How much it is? 9 crore. In reality, turnover limit also satisfied. Fourth one. Ask me, sir, what is your borrowing? 1 crore. 1 crore. What is the limit? 50 crore. I've taken only 1 crore. Less than 50 crore. Less than 50 crore. Fourth condition also satisfied. Fifth one. Ask me, am I the holding or the subsidiary of any other entity of mine? Yes or no? Yes. Kalpavriksha is holding entity of FFLA. Kalpavriksha is holding FFLA. So what? I'm only holding. No, they are not holding me. So MSME. Tell him, oh no. Oh my God. Last condition is not satisfying. Kalpavriksha Academy is either the holding entity or the subsidiary of large entity. So if FFLA is complying with all the accounting standards, you being an holding entity, you also have to comply. When my younger brother is suffering, the elder brother also has to suffer. When he doesn't have any exemption, I also cannot have any exemption. Got it? Not got it. In one house, we can't have two different rules. One common rule to ensure there's a parity between both the brothers. Or else what will happen? World war will happen. Kalpavriksha Academy is an entity whose securities are not listed. I'm assuming because about that point is not mentioned. So wherever you feel that points are not clearly mentioned in question, state your assumption and come. And when you make assumptions, two things are very important. Piyush, the assumption should be logical. It should be logical. It should be backed by logic. Second, it should be the best case assumption. Don't take the worst assumption. Take the best case assumption. Second, Kalpavriksha Academy is neither bank nor FI nor insurance company. Borrowing does not exceed 50 crore. Turnover does not exceed 250 crore. But KVA is the holding entity of FFLA. And by virtue of that, it will be classified as large entity. Since KVA is a holding of FFLA and that FFLA is a large entity, KVA also by default becomes large entity and he has to comply with all AS, no exemption. Okay, not okay. Let's come to 18 and 28. 18 and 28. It has to follow. Because FFLA turnover is more than 50 crore. Borrowing is more than 20 crore. So if FFLA is complying with 18 and 28, this also has to comply. Because it is holding a subsidiary of the large entity. Got it, not got it? Okay. Now ABC firm. 151 crore. Turnover. Borrowing is 40 crore on 31st March 24. This is current year. It had 50 crore borrowing on 31st March 23, previous year. 1423 previous year or 11023. Whenever such dates are being asked, always take a rough page and draw the timeline. Draw the timeline. Current financial years, people, 23-24. 23-24. Previous is 22-23. Tell me, people, what is the turnover at the end of the current year? Sorry, what is the turnover at the, not turnover, borrowing at the end of the current year? 40 crore is the borrowing at the end of the current year. This is current year. This is previous year. It had 50 crore borrowing on 31st March 23. On 31st March 23, 31/3/23, borrowing was 50 crore. Or let's take 1/4/23. 1/4/23. 1/4/23. 1/4/23 should not come. 1/4/22 should come. Sorry. 1/4/22. Previous year it is. So 1/4/22. Remind me at the end, I'll change it. 1/4/22. Borrowing is 50 crore. And then 110/22 should come, not 23, 22 should come. 110/22, previous year, how much it is? 50 crore. Please tell me, we are seeing for the current year. For current year, I have to see the turnover limit or the borrowing limit of the previous year. For turnover, I'll see the last date of previous year. That is previous accounting year. For the borrowing I will see anytime during the previous accounting year, previous accounting period. Okay, not okay. Which means current year ka borrowing is irrelevant. Current year ka borrowing ka limit or turnover ka limit is irrelevant. I will not look into it. Now, previous year at any point of time, tell me, people, have I violated the condition or not? 50 crore it is. Up to 50 crore rupees, you can still be MSME. I should not exceed 50 crores. I should not exceed 50 crores. Here, I have not exceeded 50 crores at any time during the previous year. You take any time during the previous year, I have not exceeded 50 crore, which means I have satisfied the borrowing criteria also. Okay, not okay. ABC firm is not a listed entity, not in the process of listing. ABC is neither bank, nor financial institution, nor insurance company. Borrowing is not exceeding 50 crore. But it is 151, 151, 51, 151. Limit is what? 250. Now they're trying to play with you. 151. 151. So we'll say, oh, it is exceeding 50. You will not focus on 1. Your focus is on 51. Be careful. Entire 3 letters, digit, not letters, digit is very important. Limit is what? Up to 250 crore. ABC firm ka turnover is 151 crore. Up to 250 crore, you can become MSME. So turnover criteria also satisfied. No information about holding subsidiary. So I'm assuming that that also has been satisfied. Since all the 5 conditions satisfied, ABC firm will be called as MSME. They can enjoy MSME ka benefit. Since turnover is not more than 250 crore and also borrowing is not exceeding 50 crore at any time during the previous year accounting year, ABC firm will be classified as MSME. But turnover is more than 50 crore. Borrowing is more than 10 crore. So 1828 ka exemption is not available. They have to comply with 18 and 28. Okay, not okay. Online people. Motivation. Response.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going.
Understood.
Unless you respond, I'll not start.
Yes, sir.
Understood, sir.
Now, XYZ firm. Turnover 151 crores. Turnover 151 crores. Current year borrowing 40 crores. Is current year borrowing even relevant? Current year ka turnover, current year ka borrowing is not even relevant. I have to see the previous. Look at the language. Turnover immediately preceding accounting year. So turnover I have to see of the previous year. And borrowing also immediately preceding accounting year. So current year ka borrowing ka limit is irrelevant. Okay, not okay. XYZ firm, turnover 151 crore. Current year borrowing 40 crore, irrelevant, leave it. It had 50.01 crore borrowing in the previous year, 31st March 23, 1/4/22, 1/10/22. Here it is 50.01 crore. 50.01 crore. 50.01 crore. 50.01 crore. So here your borrowing criteria has been violated. Your borrowing is exceeded 50 crore. Hence, XYZ firm cannot be called as MSME. It is large entity. Turnover is not more than 50 crore. But borrowing is exceeding 50 crore at any time during the previous accounting year. Hence, XYZ firm will be classified as large entity. All AS will be applied with no exemptions. Okay, not okay. Next, SPJ firm. Turnover 151 crore. 51 crore is the borrowing of current year. 51 crore exceeded 50 crore, sir. Exceeded 50 crore, sir. Online people, borrowing exceeded 50 crore.
Current year, sir.
Current year, not relevant.
Current year, not relevant. 49 crore borrowing in the previous year. Previous year it is all 49. It is less than 50 crores. That is, it is not exceed 50 crores. Less than 50 crores is wrong language. It is not exceeding 50 crores. My simple question, SPJ, is it a listed entity? No. In the process of listing? No. Is it a bank, financial institutions, insurance entity? No. Is the turnover exceeding 250 crores? No. Is borrowing exceeding 50 crore? No. 51 crore is there of current year. Current year will not look into it. We'll always see the previous year. Previous year is at any point it is not exceeding 50 crores. It is within 50 and 50 crores. That is 50 and less than 50 crores. Last condition. Nowhere they mentioned that SPJ firm is holding all the subsidiary of the large entity. So I'm assuming that it is not. All the 5 conditions satisfied. So SPJ firm is the MSME. Since turnover is not more than 50 crore and also borrowing is not exceeding 50 crore at any time during the previous accounting year, therefore ABC firm will be classified as MSME. Borrowings exceeding 50 crore during the current year. Borrowings exceeding 50 crore during the current year is not relevant for current year classification. For next year classification, this is relevant. For next year it is relevant. For current year ka classification, current year ka borrowing is not relevant. But as the turnover is more than 50 crore, and borrowing is more than 10 crore, 18 and 28 they have to comply. So they have exemption. They have full exemption from 3, 17, 20, 24. MSME, no? So they have full exemption for 3, 17, 20, 24. They also have disclosure based exemption. They also have event based exemption. Ana 18, 28 no exemption. By turnover crossed 50 crore. Borrowing crossed 10 crore in the previous year. Hence, 18 and 28, they are not exempted. They have to comply. Got it, not got it? Online people, got it, not got it?
Got it, sir.
Got it, sir.
Example in Alpha Services, turnover 250 crore, borrowing 49, relationship independent. Means what? Neither holding nor subsidiary. What is the classification? Classification. Look, answer is wrong. Answer
MSME.
sab galat hai. I said no. I prepared this answer when I was dozing. All answers are wrong. In fluke, it can be right. So far, all the answer what I gave is right because of fluke. Everything is wrong. Don't look into the answer, please. Why MSME? Turnover 250 crore turnover. Oh my God, up to 250 crore MSME. To become large entity, the turnover should exceed 250 crore, which is not exceeding. Exact 250 crores. Borrowing 49. No holding subsidiary relationship. Neither bank, nor financial institution, nor insurance, neither listed, nor in process of listing. Since all the 5 conditions satisfied, you are MSME. Not holding or subsidiary of large entity, exemption could be availed because turnover is more than I said somewhere something is wrong. 18 and 28. Now listen. Now, MSME only. Now here, they're talking about those 3 conditions. This question is focusing on 18 and 28 majorly. Apart from that, MSME also have to take care. So here they're telling that 1828 is not exempted. Why? Here in the reason I've covered only 18 and 28. 1828 not exempted. Why? Turnover more than 50 crores or borrowing is more than 10 crores. These 2 conditions are satisfied. Means what? 1828 has to be complied with. Not holding subsidiary of the large entity, exemption could be availed, but turnover is more than 50 crore or borrowing is more than 10 crore. Out of the 3 conditions, if any one is violated, see what is end condition? Turnover should be less than or up to 50 crores. Turnover up to 50 crores. and means plus borrowing up to 10 crore. And should not be holding in subsidiary of the MSME who's complying with the 18 and 28. So in this three, if you comply all the three, you don't have to follow 18 and 28. But out of this three, if any one is violated, turnover becomes more than 50 crore, or borrowing is more than 10 crore, or it becomes holding in subsidiary of MSME which is following 18 and 28 upon then I also have to comply. So here turnover criteria also violated, borrowing also is violated, and because of that 28 and 18 has to be complied with, no exemption. Online people, okay, not okay.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Now, beta solutions, turnover 151 crore. But it exceeded. See, no, 50 ka 51 it became. Oh my God, you have to see 250 and above. Okay. Up to 250 exempted. More than 250 non-exempt. Turnover satisfied. Borrowing satisfied. Subsidiary of Gamma Limited. Beta is subsidiary of Gamma. Who is Gamma? Gamma is large entity. Which means, first condition, Beta is neither listed nor in process of listing. Beta is neither bank, financial institution or insurance company. Beta का turnover is up to 250 crore, not exceeding 250 crore. That's the right language. You can't say the word less than. Beta का turnover is not exceeding 250 crore. Beta का borrowing is not exceeding 50 crore. But Beta, unfortunately, despite satisfying all the above four conditions, is got stuck in the fifth condition. It became the subsidiary of large entity. So this also will be called as large entity. Okay, not okay. Delta Traders, turnover 51 crore, borrowing 10 crores. Holding of Omega Limited, which is large entity. So when you're a holding or the subsidiary of large entity, when you're brother and sister of large entity, you also have to follow the rule of the large entity. So it is also large entity. Turnover and borrowing limit becomes irrelevant. Okay, not okay. MSME disqualified due to holding relationship control done by Delta on Omega. So Delta is controlling Omega. Now listen. Delta is holding company. So who's Omega? Subsidiary. So subsidiary is large. In the previous question, Beta was what? Subsidiary. Holding was large. Since holding was large, subsidiary is large. Here, subsidiary, that is Delta Trader, subsidiary. Sorry. Delta is holding only. Delta is holding company of Omega. Omega is what? Subsidiary entity. Now here subsidiary is what? Large. In the previous question, holding was large. In this question, subsidiary is large. If subsidiary is large, holding also becomes large. So if holding is large, subsidiary by default will become large. If subsidiary is large, holding by default will become large. Okay, not okay. Next comes Sigma Consultants. Turnover 50.1 crore people. 50.1. This is should be more than 250 crores. Yeah.
If holding company is an
MSME. Holding is MSME. Okay.
then the subsidiary satisfied is a holding or subsidiary for Omega Limited.
Ah.
If it is a holding and subsidiary of MSME, by default, sorry, it
You're talking about 18 and 28.
no
Talking about the normal 5 conditions. Huh.
Delta Trader holding company
Correct.
is MSME
Correct.
and Omega Limited.
See, Delta, okay, first 4 conditions they're satisfying. But it has become the holding company of subsidiary.
Holding company.
Delta is holding company, correct. It is MSME, let's suppose. All the 5 conditions, okay.
It is the holding or subsidiary of MSME, so it should follow MSME.
Ulta nahi hoga na. You're telling Omega. You want to frame a different question. Okay, tell me a question. No problem. We'll take up your question. You tell me holding company or holding enterprise, and this is subsidiary enterprise. Holding enterprise, what is the status?
Status, it satisfied all MSME.
All 5 conditions, so MSME. So you're telling that holding enterprise is MSME because all the 5 conditions satisfied. Okay.
And in that small entity
Small,
is subsidiary entity.
subsidiary entity.
For subsidiary entity, they have given that question in other requirement that it is an holding or subsidiary of MSME.
Okay, that is okay. But I want to know the condition of subsidiary. Is this subsidiary company, this is also MSME only, you're telling?
That large entity. नहीं, large entity के satisfy हो रहा है.
So this is large entity. Okay.
इसके turnover is more than 50.
Okay. So subsidiary is large. Holding is MSME. Okay. Now tell me.
It says that it is the holding and subsidiary of.
No, we'll keep here. No. So large entity is the subsidiary of holding enterprise. हाँ.
So now what it will follow?
Large only has to follow.
So उसका condition change हो जाएगा that if it is an holding
Exactly.
of large, it will change.
Correct. So now once your turnover limit is crossed 250 crores, then the subsidy becomes large. So since the subsidies become large, holding will also become by default large. Even though the first four conditions they're satisfying for MSME, since the fifth condition is getting attached to subsidiary enterprise, which is a large entity, this by default becomes a large entity. Now got it? Super. Next. Sigma consultant turnover is 50.15. Doesn't matter. For us, the limit is what? It should exceed 250 crore to become a large entity. Borrowing should exceed 50 crore to become large entity. This is subsidiary of another MSME. Doesn't matter. Now, what is the classification? Now, first question. Is Sigma consultant listed company or in process of listing? No. Is Sigma consultant banking entity, financial institution or insurance entity? No. Is the turnover exceeding 250 crores? No. Is the borrowing exceeding 50 crore? No. Is it holding a subsidiary of a large entity? No. Since all the 5 conditions satisfied, this is MSME. Let's talk about 18 and 28 compliance. Should Sigma consultant comply with 1828? What are the 3 conditions for that? Turnover should not exceed 50 crores. It is exceeding 50 crores. So first condition itself is violated. Second, the borrowing should not exceed 10 crore. It is exceeding 10 crore. Apona, this also has been violated. Therefore, they have to comply with 1828. 1828 is not exempted. So though Sigma consultant is MSME, they can enjoy full exemption. They can enjoy disclosure-based exemption. They can enjoy event-based exemption. But 1828 fully they have to comply. 1828 cannot be exempted. Why? Because the turnover limit is crossed and the borrowing limit is crossed. Doesn't matter, no.
But MSME doesn't follow 18 and 28. But now they have started following Sigma consultant.
Okay, correct. Now I'll tell you one thing. What your question will flip around. So let's talk about that another MSME. That another MSME is, let's suppose, ABC. So ABC is MSME. It is MSME. Now, since this ABC is the subsidiary of Sigma consultant who is not exempted 1828, so ABC also has to follow 1828. I'm talking about ABC now. Forget Sigma now. Sigma is subsidiary of another MSME. Imagine another MSME is ABC. Another MSME is ABC. ABC is also MSME. 5 conditions satisfied. But since ABC is a subsidiary of Sigma consultant who has to comply with 1828, so ABC also is not exempted. ABC also has to comply. Ulta scenario I'm telling you. All in people, in difficulty.
No, sir.
This looks very easy. When you read the provision, you understand, acha, it is easy. But when you actually do practical questions, that time you get more clarity. If you take anywhere, any video on YouTube, wherever this part has been explained, they've explained only for 10-15 minutes, only the provision part. Sums are not done. So if the sums are not done, you might think that by reading the provision, things would have gone into your head. That's not the case. You need to understand the numericals to actually decide whether you understood or not. Clear or not clear? Online people, clear or not clear?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Zeta Logistics, turnover 49 crores, borrowing 9 crores, joint venture with large entity. So Zeta has got some joint venture with large entity. They have not spoken about associate and joint venture. Here they have spoken only about holding and subsidiary. So if I'm having any holding or subsidiary relation with a large entity, then Zeta also becomes large. Joint venture is not a norm here. Joint venture is not applicable here. If you're having a joint venture with some entity, and if that entity is large entity, let's suppose Zeta has got joint venture with ABC. ABC is a large entity. Does Zeta becomes large? No. Because JV is not equal to holding subsidiary. Associate is not equal to holding and subsidiary. Therefore, Zeta Logistic is still falling under MSME classification. They will enjoy exemptions as applicable to them. Okay, not okay. Online people, okay, not okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
This is very, very important point. Nice point. Now comes the 2 point people. With that, we're done. 2 more conditions. Entity was earlier a large entity. There's one entity which was earlier large entity. Later become MSME. In the first year of the business, the turnover was 260 crore, which is exceeding 250 crore. So in the first year, can I say the entity becomes a large entity? Later, in the second year, the turnover became 150 crore. In the third year, it became 160 crore. In the fourth year, it became 170 crore. Now, in the first year, turnover is more than 250 crore. What is the classification? Large entity.
Large
Second year, what is classification? MSME.
MSM.
Third year, MSME.
MSME.
Fourth year, MSME. Correct? This is the classification, which is correct. But there's a catch here. Even though in the second and the third year, you are MSME, you are not having exemptions of MSME. Like large entity, you have to comply with all the accounting standard, So these 2 year, no exemption, no exemption, no exemption. When will be exemption granted? When the exemption will be granted? Only from the third year onwards. Means an entity should be MSME for consecutive 3 years. In that first 2 year, they are not exempted. Exemption will come only when? In third year. So in the previous 2 year, they have to be MSME. In third year also MSME. And only from third year onwards, exemptions will be granted. Okay, not okay. Why? What is the logic behind it? All of a sudden, from large you became MSME. So you should report what happened. You should comply with all the A's. Because people who are investing in your enterprise, people who are linked with you, suddenly from large you became MSME. If you start availing exemptions, if you start hiding all the disclosures and everything, then we will never get to know what went wrong with you. For the 2 years, we will ask them to give full details as required by each and every AS. Once we read all that information and be satisfied that, okay, this change is not very unusual, it is normal, nothing to worry about it. Because from 260 crore, it became 150 crore. You'll be surprised to know what happened. Where did that money go? Why turnover dropped? Got it, not got it. So for 2 years, you have to disclose everything fully. And we as investors, bankers will assess everything for 2 years. And if we find everything okay, then from third year onwards, if you don't report on few A's, I'm okay with it. Got it, not got it. So that is the logic behind giving this, what do you call it, non-relaxation. For enterprise, which was previously a large entity, not an MSME, subsequently later qualifies as an MSME, it shall not be entitled to exemption. Though it is MSME, it will not be entitled to exemption or relaxation to MSME unless it remains as an MSME for 2 consecutive accounting years. For 2 consecutive accounting years, it should be MSME. Then MSME exemption will be available only from third year onwards, provided in third year still MSME. Got it, not got it? Online people, got it, not got it?
Got it, sir.
Everybody,
sir.
open your mouth and respond, people. Sumanyo, Soma,
Got it,
Prathik,
sir.
Siddharth, Pavitra, Nishant, Manik Velu, Kaushik, Harini,
Got it,
Albin,
sir.
Got
Abhinami,
it,
Bala.
sir.
Okay.
That's
Example 9. In the financial year 22-23, turnover 320 crore, exceeded 250 crore. What is the status, people? Large entity. Is exemption available? Applicable? No. No exemptions applicable. 23-24. 2024, next year, turnover 90 crore. Imagine all the 4 conditions also satisfied. All the 4 also satisfied. Turnover also satisfied. MSME in the first year. Is exemption available? Not available. Next year, turnover 85 crore. All the 4 conditions satisfied. MSME in the second year. Is exemption available? No. 25-26. Turnover 95 crore. And remaining 4 conditions also satisfied. Still MSME in third year. In the third year, is the exemption available? Yes. So after being MSME for 2 consecutive years, in the third year only you'll be granting the exemptions. In the first 2 years of being MSME, you will not be granted exemption. When? If you're coming from large to MSME. Large to MSME. Okay, not okay. MSME exemption starts
Yes, sir.
only after remaining MSME for 2 consecutive years. Last point. Earlier MSME, now large entity. Earlier MSME, now large entity. If an entity was MSME earlier, enjoyed MSME exemption, but now it no longer qualifies as MSME, means whatever it's become large entity, large entity. From the current year onwards, it must fully apply the relevant accounting standard without MSME exemption. Means what? Today you become large entity, no? So you have to apply all the accounting standards. You have to apply all the accounting standards. Okay, not okay. In the current year, you've become large entity, all the A's has to be applied. That is not the question. The question is, should I give the comparative? See, in so many places we give comparative, no? For example, cash flow statement. We prepare for current year, also for the previous year. Now, please tell me, if I come back to the same example, 26-27, financial year 2026-27, turnover 400 crore. Tell me the status, people. Large entity. Previously, I was MSME. MSME exemption were available. AS3 I did not prepare. AS3 I did not prepare. Current year turnover more than 250 crore. I have become large entity. So current year, all AS have to comply. AS3 also I'll comply. While complying AS3, I have to give two data. One of current year, one of previous year. Should I give previous year ka data? This AS says that not required, not required, not required. Past year's corresponding financial statement need not be changed or restated in the current period since exemptions was used earlier. Since for the previous period exemption was available, you enjoy the exemption and don't give the comparative of the previous year. Okay, not okay. Online people, okay, not okay.
Okay, sir.
But
Okay,
three
sir.
things you have to do. In the financial year 26-27, three things you have to do. What are the three things? The entity must disclose in notes. In the notes, you have to tell that it was an MSME in the previous year. What were you in previous year? MSME. In that MSME exemption availed earlier. So what all exemption you availed, that list you have to provide. Third, the fact that the previous year ka figure is not revised. For example, while preparing the cash flow statement for the current year, with the current year data, I'm not giving the previous year data. That fact you have to state. You have to say that because of so and so reason, I am not required to give the previous year ka data. So these 3 points you have to mention. Okay, not okay. This is the disclosure requirement. Online people, okay, not okay.
Yes, sir.
MSME qualified for any exemption previously, but no longer in the current period. So what is this? M2 large, M2 large. The figures of the corresponding period of the previous accounting period need not be revised merely because in the current year it is ceased to become MSME. In the current year, just because you become large entity, previous year's corresponding figure need not be revised, need not be provided. Okay, not okay. And what has to be disclosed? Fact has to be disclosed, that also I mentioned. An entity which was previously not MSME means large, subsequently become MSME. The first point, no relaxation until MSME, it is MSME for 2 consecutive years. So this I have simplified in my notes. In my notes, I've simplified the language. Now here, if an MSME opts not to avail exemption, as an MSME, you have an option to avail exemption. Please understand, exemption is optional. If you feel that I'm an MSME, but I want to follow all the AS, you can follow, nobody will stop you. Exemption is optional. If you want exemption, you take it. But if you want to report everything, nobody will stop. I'm MSME. I need not prepare AS3 cash flow statement. But if I want to prepare, can anybody stop me? If MSME opts not to avail of the exemption or relaxation available to MSME in respect of any but not all of the accounting standard, it shall disclose the standard. What are they trying to say? If MSME opts not to avail exemptions or relaxation of any but not all the accounting standards, selected A's you want to follow, selected A's you're saying that I don't want to follow. In the exemption given, certain exemptions I don't want to follow. So A's I do not follow, but I'm preparing cash flow statement. So some exemption I'm taking, some exemption I'm not taking up to now, in which you have to disclose the standards in respect of which the exemption is availed. For example, there are 3, 17, 20, 24. In that, 3 you are following because for your cash flow statement is favorite. You're telling no, even though I have exemption, I'll follow this. Then you have to mention in note that even though I'm exempted not to prepare cash flow statement, but still we are preparing it. And disclose the standards in respect of which it has availed the exemption or relaxation. So these three, if you're not availing, if these three are availing as exemption, then mention that 17, 20, 24 is not being followed. 3 is being followed. Though you are having exemption of all the 4, but 3 you are preparing and remaining 3 are not preparing up to now. The remaining 3 that you're not preparing, that information has to be disclosed. Okay, not okay. Online people, okay, not okay.
So,
Okay.
3, 17, 20, 24. I'm following this, not following this. So this you're exempted, but still you have to disclose link that I'm not following this. Why? Because you've gone against the exemption and recorded, or you're capturing AS3 in your financial statement. So when I find AS3 in your financial statement, I'll be wondering where are the remaining 3. So you have to mention that I'm an MSME, I'm exempted, but still I'm presenting AS3, but I'm not presenting these 3. I'm not complying with these 3. This information has to be given. If an MSME opts not to avail any one or more exemptions or relaxation available to it, it shall comply with all the relevant requirement of the AS. So if AS3 you are adopting, though you are MSME, need not prepare AS3, but you feel that no, AS3 I want to present, you have to follow entire requirement of that AS. You can't say that no, selectively I'll do. For example, in AS3, there's certain points you're following, certain points you're not following. You can't choose within the AS what to do, what not to do. So once you're choosing to follow, then you have to follow fully. Once you're applying one AS, apply fully. Just because exemption is there, you can't apply on your own. Well, okay, this much alone I'll apply, this much I will not apply. That you can't do. So AS3 for MSME not required. But still you're disclosing up now. If you're still presenting means you have to present it fully as required by AS3. In that selection, you can't do. This much part I will show, this much part I will not show. This disclosure I'll do, this disclosure I'll not do. That kind of choosing within the AS cannot be done. Okay, not okay. An MSME may opt for availing certain exemption or relaxation from compliance with the requirement prescribed in the accounting standard, provided that such partial exemption or relaxation and disclosure should not be permitted to mislead the users. Again, it's a general point, leave it. So this was broadly the applicability or the amendment that was brought in the applicability of the accounting standard. In this, if you have any doubts, let me. Short question in the exam. Either Jan or May or September. Short question. High chances being asked in the MCQ. This could be a part of your MCQ. Any doubts in this, please? Online people, any doubts? Yes.
For first year, it was MSME having 50 crores.
1 second. First year, borrowing 50 crore, MSME.
Second, large, 51.
Second year, borrowing 51 crores. So it's become a large entity. Okay. Third year, MSME. Borrowing 50. Very simple. Very simple. MSME to large. MSME to large. Last year, exemption. Current year, no exemption. So current year, all AS has to be applied. But while giving comparative, current year ka comparative will give. Previous year ka comparative, not given. Okay, not okay. Next, large to MSME. Though you become MSME, you can't avail exemption in AS for 2 consecutive years. So here, all the AS has to be compliant. All AS has to be compliant. All the AS has to be compliant. Sorry. Here, when you compare, we are complying with all AS. Current year also you have AS. Previous year also, since you're a large entity, you have AS now. So comparative is comparative is already available. Now, fourth year MSME. Fourth year MSME. Again, AS ka exemption not available because you have to be MSME for 2 consecutive years. Again, all AS has to be compliant. Next year, MSME. Now, AS can be compliant. That is, you have exemption in AS. You have exemption in AS. Got it, not got it. Now, what do you again? I'll go large. Set. Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
let's take that borrowing as a current year figures.
Ah.
So for third year, it will be large now. If the borrowing figures are current year figures.
If these are current year figures, okay. These are current year borrowing. Current year borrowing. Okay.
So for third, will be large.
Now imagine we're talking about third year. Third year ka previous year is second year. So 51 crore becomes a limit which is crossing the 50 crore ka threshold. So in the third year, it becomes large. If you are considering this current year borrowing, this is not previous year borrowing. If it is previous year borrowing, what we did earlier is correct. I'm changing from previous year to now current year. In that case, second year is becoming the previous year of third year. So third year, earlier we said MSME, which was correct. Now, since you have converted this into current year borrowing, for current year, I will check the previous year ka borrowing. 50 crore is current year borrowing. Iska previous borrowing is 51 crore. So because of that, this becomes a large entity. Any other queries? Oh, she's like, this year I'm MSME, but you're not giving exemption. I'll feel very bad. What about those bankers who gave loan thinking that you're large entity and you became small entity later? Their motivation when you took the loan, you said my turnover 300 crore. Next year, turnover became 100 crore. What will happen to their feeling? 300 கோடி நினைச்சிட்டு உனக்கு லோன் கொடுத்தான் நீ அடுத்த வருஷத்துல 100 கோடி வந்துருச்சு 200 crores போயிடுச்சு அப்படி how much bad he should feel in front of that feeling your feeling is nothing.
So, sir, your classification doesn't matter.
Which classification?
Previous year classification.
That doesn't matter. All in people, any doubts please?
No,
If not,
sir.
I'll wind up the session, people. That's all. If you have any doubts, I'll take up, or else I can wind up the session. What do you say?
No doubt, sir.
No doubts? Chalo. Others opening mouth to respond at least, no?
No doubt, sir.
Protis,
Sir, what
No
wind up
doubt,
the session.
sir.
What is for you?
Sir,
ஏன் throat வலிக்குதுல்ல நீங்க அட்லீஸ்ட் கெஸ்ட் லோன் சொல்லலாம்ல
sir, about the TS 18 discussion.
that we'll discuss after this session gets over kana
Okay, sir.
இதுல now this video in particular is for applicability of AS amendment இதுல ஏதாவது doubt இருக்கா
No, sir.
chalo great so guys that's all from my side for this session. I'll see all of you in the next class which is tomorrow with the next new chapter. Until then, bye bye, see you, take care. Thank you people, thank you.